So what we did was we decided to just kind of reach out to Urban to see if he wanted to be a part of this in any way. The problem was, unfortunately, he was at the Nike. Nike does a huge deal with a lot of their coaches when they're out in Hawaii. It's a big deal for them, and the timing didn't quite work out. But Urban wanted to be a part of this. While we were all hanging out in Atlantis, or wherever you were, Urban flew, along with his wife Shelly, about 20 hours to be here tonight with you. Didn't ask him if he could do it, and again, with the Nike thing, it didn't look like it would work, but right away, because it was Chris and because it was Steph, he's like, what do I need to do? I'm in. What can I do to help out? So. And you have never seen a more hands-on first lady than right here. The best coaching wife in the country, Meyer. We're going to turn it over to these guys. We'll have a lot of fun tonight with the audition. The players have given so much to be a part of this, and I think you guys will notice we've got a lot of great items. So have a great time tonight. Go.
Thank you, Coach. Wow, thank you so much for the welcome applause, and it's great to be back home. Briefly, but I'd like to introduce my best friend, my soulmate, and the First Lady, without question, the best First Lady in college football, my wife, Shelly. She is with me all the way from when I was a graduate assistant at Ohio State to we took our first major college coaching job at Colorado State, where we weren't allowed to come home on weekends because we couldn't afford it. Colorado State didn't have the budget, so we just would go 2 months at a time recruiting. I had 2 little girls at the time. Now they're much older. But our journey goes all the way back from the first time at Colorado State, where I would be gone for 2 months at a time. And one time I remember, you know, when your kids are little, they jump in bed with you during the middle of the night. So I get up one night, I was gone for about 2 months. I started heading off to the shower. All of a sudden I hear, "Mommy, is that Daddy?" Well, damn right that's Daddy. It better be Daddy. And a good thing it was Daddy. So. And then also, it was Daddy, you're right. And then all the way from my mentor and a great Buckeye and a guy who lost his wife recently that I'll tell you what, everything, if you watch bits and pieces of our program as it's gone on for the last decade, there's a part of Earl Bruce in everything that I do. And he's a man's man. And Kelly was there with me when I had an opportunity when he called me up and he says, "I think you should interview for the Bowling Green job to be a head football coach." And you got a little BG around there? I think he's Zumba. So he said, I think you should go interview the job. They offered me the job, and that's my mentor. I call him back, and I was at Notre Dame at the time, and I said, "You know what, Coach, I just don't think I'm going to take this job." And obviously, after cursing me out for about 15 minutes, he said, "Why would you not take the job?" And I said, "I don't believe it's a good job." And he said, "Well, of course not. It was a good job. You think they'd be calling you?" So here we are, and the reason we're here is that Chris Spielman and I were very, very good friends for many years. I got to witness him play as a linebacker at the Ohio State University, and probably every third week he would do something. We became very close that he would wink at me, or I was coaching the offense, tight ends at the time, and Crusadas or Tupa was playing quarterback back in the 80s, and he'd wink at me and he'd say, watch this. And about every third week, he'd want to get out of practice near the end. So he would go knock the piss out of the quarterback. And they'd wear those like green jerseys, so you're not supposed to hit them. So Earl Bruce would get mad at him, and he'd do it again. He'd wink at me again, and he'd do it again. He'd get thrown out of practice. Chris Spielman and I have been close ever since. However, that friendship took a major turn this summer. And it took a step that a lot of you in this room have probably experienced in your life. There's one thing about being friends, but when you cross that line of being family, that's a whole different animal. And Chris Spielman and I got to be careful because I get a little choked up when I think about what this guy means to me. And what him and his family and his strength and his faith is just makes you self-evaluate a little bit. And sometimes you're not quite sure what you see when you self-evaluate when you're around people like Chris Spielman. And so our friendship, like I said, this summer took a major turn. The friendship went from friends to family. And we worked together on ESPN, and our 3 hours together on TV was kind of silly, to be honest with you. It was kind of, you go, Herb Street knows, that's television stuff silly. But in all seriousness, we would get together Thursday night, we'd go to dinner, and my greatest time of the week, and Shelley knows about this, I'd come home and I'd tell her about, we'd have Bible study on a Friday night, we'd talk about his family, I'd call his son every Thursday night, getting him ready to try to motivate. Where's Noah at? Where you at, man? Where's my guy? Good to see you. That's what you look like. I talked to him, I tried to talk to him each week, but it took a major turn, and we went from being friends to being family. He took me to Stephanie's gravesite one time, and we prayed together every Friday night. We would do the games together. He would see, to this day, every morning I wake up, and sometimes, you know, Chris is a nut job. He wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. My phone will buzz, and it's a biblical scripture that helps me get through the day and helps me stay focused. And so whenever you cross that line from friendship to family, I get a call from Kirk Herbstreit. I didn't know about this cruise. I didn't know anything about it. And he said, can you do this for Chris? And of course, as a friend, we'll see if it fits in the schedule. When you start talking about family, no, absolutely, we'll be here and be a part of Chris Spielman's family. So Kirk, I appreciate you doing that.